This idea of someone having to defend their home against violence and having to go to the extreme version of violence to do that is just delicious.
Frank, thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate this.
Oh, Steve, man, it's good to meet you. Thank you for having me on.
It's great to meet you too. The Bluff is so much fun. It's got everything you want in a film for like this. It's so funny because it feels so epic and yet it's localized in this one location primarily. But it's just a blast. And I love that we get to explore pirate culture again. And I know you grew up in the Cayman Islands. I was wondering, as you were building this film, what is the legacy of pirate culture there, and why was that something you wanted to revisit?
Well, this idea of a home invasion movie, but the home is essentially an island, right? So you get that scale, but you get that DNA of something that's very, claustrophobic. It's a survival tale. When I was a kid in Cayman Islands, we didn't really do Halloween, but Pirates Week, everybody dressed up. So I would sit on my dad's shoulders, and you're a kid and you're not sure what's real and what's not, and you see these boats come in, and there'd be these pyrotechnics, and then there'd be this sword fight. And what's crazy is the pirates win, and they take over the island for a week. And it's this national festival that's been going on for like 35 years, or actually no, they're their 50th year now. And then the pirates would come through the street and you were like scared, and then they'd give you a candy or a doubloon and you're like, oh, well, they're not so bad. And so for me, I had a very complex and interesting core relationship with pirates and pirate culture. And as I got older, I heard that my great-great-great-great-grandfather was shot in the leg by Blackbeard, and who knows if any of this is true, but it definitely was ingrained in me. And so coming up, I've always been looking and interested in that space, and my writing partner, Joe Ballerini, is like one of my best friends from film school. We have this thing called the Bad Idea of the Week Club, where we'll just call each other and pitch things, and he said, yo, what about Straw Dogs with pirates? And Straw Dogs is one of my favorite movies. It's a little controversial, I know, but this idea of someone having to defend their home against violence and having to go to the extreme version of violence to do that is just delicious if done right. And so that was a lot of the DNA of this film and how it came to be.
That's interesting that you say that because about pirates and complicated relationship because there's a lot of empathy in some ways for them in this film. They're not just all the true villains. There is that extra level to them that is interesting, certainly to explore. I'm sure is with characters and Priyanka is incredible as Ercell. My gosh, I mean, she brings it in this film. And I was wondering, what do you think she brings to Ercell, and what was it like creating that character with her?
Well, as you noted, Priyanka Chopra is just, her body of work in Hollywood and Bollywood is just incredible. And I went back and watched a dozen of her films, and the range and the nuance and the type of character she's played over the years, I can't think of anyone on this side of the world who's done that level of different roles. So sitting with her, she came on as a producer and really fleshing out this character and going deep and fleshing out things that we weren't even gonna film, but like the relationship between her and Carl Urban's character, that secret past that unfolds throughout the movie, really helped inform a lot of the action, but also you watch an action movie, right? And sometimes the two people, they're coming at each other. As you said, you're empathizing with both these characters because they're so driven and they both feel entitled to what they're trying to get. Carl's character wants freedom. He wants a place in the world that he killed so many people to get and then feels betrayed. And then you have Priyanka, who's found peace in the world and is like, just leave me alone and let me be, but yet is struggling with this domestic, mundane existence. So you watch these movies, these people come together and you go, why don't you just shoot him in the head and end the movie, right? This movie, you watch it again, you go, oh, that's why he didn't shoot her in the head. And then when it starts to ramp up towards the end, you go, oh, that's why he's telling him to shoot her in the head, right? So you get this really interesting dial that came from these two actors who really go deep, who believed in the vision, but also brought it for every single scene so that even the fighting, all the orders, all the dialogue, everything had that little bit of of bite and nuance and texture to it.
You know, honestly, I'm glad you said that, and I know we're out of time, but just as we wrap, I'll just tell you, like, I love that gold in this thing is not what everybody wants. It is what everybody wants, but it's what nobody wants. There's all these other layers to it, as you were saying, and Frank, honestly, the film is such a blast. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, my brother, and I'm excited for the rest of the world to see it. Thank you for making the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Have a great day.
All right, man.